For a while, Joy longed for an explanation whilst being simultaneously terrified of the answers. Eventually, however, the questions began to fade. Besides, she had made a new friend. His name was Fear, and he was by and large invisible to other people. Tall, opaque, with black hair and grey eyes set against his otherwise pale features, he was always clad in a long black trench coat over a white shirt and black tie. He met Joy one day, shortly after her mother had left, while walking casually through her wall. Hey there.
Hey, what are you doing here?
This and that. You look like you could use someone to talk to.
Should I be talking to ghosts?
Probably a bad thing to do. Though, that might be rude of me, seeing I've never met one.
I have.
Ooh, what were they like?
I'm still finding out.
Well, not all invisible people are ghosts, you know. I suppose you could always ask them about their day.
How was your day?
Can't complain. There's been a lot of them. How about yours?
Terrible.
Probably all the ghosts, is that it?
No, silly. I'm just sad. My mum went away.
Well, pardon my ignorance, but don't they all?
Other people's come back.
Ah, well, I can't make mothers come back.
I wasn't asking you to. I'm just sad.
Well, if everyone's mums are around and yours isn't, I bet the others don't have an invisible friend who can take their fears away.
Do I have one of those?
You can, if you want to. Look at this.
Ew! What is that?
It's a worm of concern. They grow in people's minds when they're scared or worried about things. In this case, this one is the worry that you aren't good enough for your mother to want.
Why are you taking it?
Because you shouldn't worry about that.
I'm Joy.
Well, there you have it then. Nobody leaves because of joy. I'm Fear, by the way.
And you want to be my friend?
If you'd like that.
I haven't had an invisible friend before. I think I'd like that.
9 years had passed, and Joy was in the final term of her final year at high school. As the year progressed, she had felt an increasing pressure in her head when she was home, as if the walls themselves were now struggling to contain her, and an itch in her feet which pulled her away from the front door with an urgency that increased by the day. Slowly she found herself pulling herself away from her father in an effort to quell the storm inside her, which seemed to intensify when they were together. She claimed it was to study, and he seemed to accept this, but she was aware of a growing distance as something outside of her pulled her away from her home. One afternoon, as she was delaying her return home from school between bus changes, however, she noticed an old rowboat floating in the stormwater canal beside the main road. Oh, there's something you don't see every day.
What, a boat? Surely people see them where they're supposed to be.
No. I mean a boat bobbing against the current.
Don't be stupid. Boats can't bob against the current. Let me see.
Hey, no need to shove. That's why I said you don't see it every day.
It's just sitting there. It's not really moving. Maybe it dropped anchor?
It's a rowboat. You think a very small pirate invasion is coming via a stormwater canal? Besides, there's no rope and it follows us when we walk.
Oh, that's ridiculous. Boats don't have a brain. They can't follow us.
Well, try walking up the road a little. Joy walked up the road a short way, and the boat slowly floated along after her, against the flow of the canal's turgid contents.
Hey, shoo! Go away! Get out of here!
It's not a dog, you know.
Shut up.
For an 18-year-old with an invisible friend, I guess it makes sense to have an inanimate stalker.
Shut up.
Just sitting there with a wooden expression.
Shut up.
It's about time you met someone new.
Oh, your puns are terrible.
No, they're awful.
Come on, we'll miss the bus.
The boat remained. Turning up each afternoon when the water in the canal was high enough, Joy tried to focus on her exams rather than figure out how an unoccupied water vessel could follow her, but kept a loose eye until summer, when the canal ran dry and the boat was nowhere to be seen. Her exams came and went, which left her now with no choice but to confront the pressure in her head and the pool at her feet, which seemed to want to drag her away from her home. I know what he's afraid of.
Who?
Your dad.
I thought you promised that parents were off limits.
Yeah, I still need to harvest the worms of concern. I just happen to think you'll find it interesting.
Well, that's not how people work. I don't want to know what he's thinking.
Oh, but it's not what he's thinking, just what he's afraid of.
You want to tell me someone's innermost fears, but you wouldn't give me the answers to my final exams. How is that fair?
A good education is its own reward, and I would like to educate you.
Well, I don't want to know.
This was a lie, of course. There isn't a teenage girl on the planet who doesn't want to know a juicy detail about what someone else is thinking. It seemed, however, that finding out would also mean having to confront things, and Joy was certain her father was scared she'd leave. Like her mother before her, it seemed pretty obvious. A few weeks later, approaching her birthday, as summer storms began to howl through the area, Joy sat down to dinner with her father.
I got you something a little while ago.
You did?
Your mum always had big dreams. I don't know if I've said this before, but big dreams aren't a bad thing. Sometimes you have to find your lane and stay in it, and sometimes you don't.
What are you saying?
Maybe I'm saying it wrong, but I don't want you to live and die here. I guess if I've been afraid of anything, it's that you'd stay and be trapped, trying to take care of me.
I thought you'd be scared that I wanted to leave.
Kid, I've done 18 years of looking after you.
Not for a few more days.
Well, give or take. Anyway, I didn't do that so you could live down the street and work at the factory.
So, what did you get me?
Joy's father went to a cupboard and pulled out a large travelling bag, waterproof, brightly coloured. He opened a drawer and pulled out an envelope, which held $3,600. Joy felt overwhelmed.
It's kind of a combination graduation gift. $200 for every year you've been alive. It's all I've been able to save. It's not a huge amount out there in the world, but it's enough to get you started.
I don't know what to say.
Well, thank you is fine.
Do I have to leave right now?
I'm not kicking you out, kid. Definitely not in the middle of a storm. But you need to find your own adventure. So how about that starts after the storm stops?
That soon?
I wish it was going to be that soon.
And he was right. As the rains continued for another 4 days, Joy began the slow process of packing, talking to Fear, and trying to come up with a plan. She didn't know where she needed to go precisely, but she felt the ongoing pull of her feet towards somewhere. Oddly, the only time the pull seemed to settle down was by the canal. Finally, the storms lifted and Joy stood at the door with her father.
I put lasagna in the freezer.
I know.
And dinner's on the stove.
I know.
And there's
Joy, I know. Look, this is always home. Whatever happens out there, you can always come back. But stop henpecking me and get on out there.
But what about you?
I'm a grown man. I can take care of myself. Eventually, home is going to be somewhere I'm not. And if you don't start looking, well, sooner or later, 20 years will have gone by and you won't have taken that first step.
You're right. We can do this.
We can. And we will again.
With a final hug, Joy stepped through her front door and closed it, holding onto the handle. Fear was waiting on the landing. Told you I knew what he was afraid of. Imagine the stress and tension you'd have saved if you'd just let me be right.
Well, if it stops you crowing, I'll gladly pay that price.
So, which way are we going?
It's a world full of possibilities.
Yes, which includes the possibility of getting stabbed under an overpass by a crazy man in an old Pikachu onesie.
You're so very helpful.
What do your feet say?
This way.
Lead the way. The adventure starts now.
this door 1,000 times before. So why is it hard to let the handle go? Dinner's on the stove, and there's one thing I know: we can and we will again. Goodbye, good night. Hope you're sleeping tight. Hello, yellow brick road. This has got to be. There's a whole wide world to see, and it's time for me to go. Feel my feet lighter than they've been, and I'll follow, 'cause they know where to go. You're in my mind, not left you behind, but still I'm starting to run. Goodbye, good night. Hope you're sleeping tight. Hello, yellow brick road. This has got to be. There's a whole wide world to see, and it's time for me to go. The fields are open, still I'm hoping. My journey's right and my destination's true. The miles I've taken, I feel awakened, finding freedom farther out from you. Goodbye, good night. I hope you're sleeping tight. And hello, yellow brick road. You're here with me, just like you said you'd be. And we'll meet again, I know.